Dividend investors, could you imagine that you can now trade for free? I know if you're trading in the US, this doesn't sound like a big news, but for Canadian, we love paying fees, right? We got like all kinds of telecom fees, and now we pay for cables too much, and we also pay a lot more for commission on our brokerage account. But good news, there's not only Wealthsimple offering $0 per trade now, National Bank did it, and a few weeks after, les Mouvements Desjardins followed. Are we going to see all the big five to follow the Quebec leaders? I don't know, but today we're taking a deep dive in National Bank brokerage account. You're going to look into my own account. Obviously, I'm going to blur out some numbers, but we're going to look at features. We're going to look at what is important to look at when you're choosing an investing platform, and obviously what zero commission means for us as investors. So let's take that deep dive. So let's get started. Dividend investors, bonjour. My name is Mike Yahoo, founder of Dividend Stocks Rocks and passionate investor. Today, we're going to review my National Bank brokerage account. Full disclaimer, I am not paid by National Bank. They don't even know I'm doing this video. I don't have an affiliate program, so I'm not making any money out of it. I've worked at National Bank for 13, 14 years, can't remember now, and then I quit, and then I decided to work full-time at on DSR, my baby business, and I just kept most of my investment there because it was just convenient. All my banking is with National Bank, and I just want to tell you, there's no bias here. I'm just showing you the platform around, and my goal here is to make it interesting, show you a few features that I love, some others I don't even use actually, but it will give you a good idea of what it looks like under the hood. So let's get started. Obviously, when you log in your account, you're going to get your summary. National Bank is pretty much like all the other banking system. They're offering you TFSAs, RRSPs. I have my Lira account. I have my corporate account as well, cash account, non-registered, pretty much all kind of option here. You can trade options. That is pretty much basic. So when you're looking at a new platform, you're not necessarily looking at, oh, can I trade options and stuff like that. Most of them will be able to do it, especially if you're dealing with a bank. The main difference right now is you don't pay any commission. At National Bank a few years ago, they actually decided to drop their commission fees. So ETF has been free of commission for several years. I used to pay $6.95 a trade, and now it's down to $0. Before I start the tour, just click on pause for a second, go down in the comment below, tell me about your brokerage account. I would like to know which brokerage account you use and what feature or what do you like most about it. So it's going to help all viewers to make a good decision, maybe decide, oh, you know what, it's not worth it to get free commission. I rather have like additional supports, additional research, and so on. So now let's dig deeper and see what we have here. So on top of the classic summary account, let's go into market. So the first option that you have is overview. So when you click on overview, you're going to see indices, and then you're going to see top movers. I don't really use that screen, to be honest, because I don't really mind what's happening on a daily basis. But if you're a day trader, or if you're looking to get more momentum trading, this could be some interesting places where you can go. You see the all the sectors, how they move, 50 weeks high and lows. You can go to US commodities, currencies. So it gives you a good idea of what's happening right now. Now moving on to the second one. Well, obviously that's for a quote. So if you want to learn about any stock, so let's look at TFI, for example. You get TFI International, you get all the quotes. And one thing that I really like here is if you go into the analysis section, you will have access to National Bank financial reports. So sometimes you have the company snapshot, sometimes you have the report, and the reports pulls out as PDF. So let's click on one to just show you what it looks like. So you see, that's a classic review of what happened over the past quarter. You can have all the information here. You have the rating from National Bank Financial as well. You have some metrics, and the report goes on for a few pages. It's quite easy to read, straightforward, not too much information. Sometimes you would like to get a little bit deeper, so don't think it's like a 25 pages analysis. You're not going to get there from National Bank, but still it gives you a good overview on Canadian stocks. Now, moving back here, what we have also for some companies is the Morningstar analysis. So let's try to find one that has Morningstar. We're just going to go. So now let's go on another quote, and I'm going to look at a company that is in the US market just to make sure that we have the analysis. So let's pick Microsoft. So here you have the Morningstar analysis. So you can click here. Obviously, it's not being covered by National Bank Financial, but you do have it for Morningstar. So we can see more reports. You have the data sheets. You have like plenty of information over there. So this is quite interesting if you want to move a little bit deeper and get the full analysis of a stock. Pretty sure that you're very comfortable with Morningstar. It covers many Canadian stocks and many US stocks as well. So that is very interesting. If you click on the analysis report, you're going to get something a little bit more complete than what you have at National Bank Financial. So you're going to have some graph. You have like the most recent quarter and some discussion, and then the business strategy and outlook. So you get a good feel of what's happening with the business, how they make money, what's their potential threat and opportunities. Section that I love is what the bulls say. So always 3 arguments saying why Microsoft should do better in the future, and what the bears say. So 3 arguments saying Microsoft may run into some problems. So we're talking after that about economic moat. You have risk potential. So you see, it's a lot more detailed than the previous analysis that we look at National Bank Financial, but you have options to see both. So I like those analysis, especially when I like those analysis, and I really love to know the downsides. I'm not too keen on looking at about their investment thesis, just because I would like to build my own thinking about all the stocks I do. But at least I got like another point of view, and most of the time when CFAs highlight risks, it will give me incentive to dig a little bit deeper and go back into the quarterly earnings or the annual statement and see if I agree or not with those potential risks. So then again, a great way to cut down the corners a little bit, get a little bit more of research. I know a lot of brokerage firms are offering similar resources. So here we have National Bank and Morningstar, which is quite interesting. Honestly, I don't use technical insight. I don't use value analyzer. So actually, I never click on this one. So let's take a look at what it looks like. All right, so here you have like some graph about valuation. That could be interesting. I rather rely on my stock screener at DSR. I have like a bunch of values here and bunch of metrics, so I don't necessarily need to go there, but at least you get a little bit more information on the stock. And now we're going to move on the next section. That could be very interesting for a lot of you guys if you want to build a portfolio that is maybe like core with ETF and then add a few dividend paying stocks on top of it. So you do have ETF screener. So now takes some time to load right now. I'm not too sure if it's maybe the market is busy. Again, it's not a tool that I use that much, so we're just gonna wait until it loads. So I'm a bit disappointed to see that it's taking a lot of time to load actually. All right, so I had to refresh my screen. Maybe technical difficulties, I'm not too sure about it, but now we do have the ETF stock screener. So for Canadian and US, so that's great. And then you can select if you want to have something that is balanced, for example, or if you just want equity or fixed income. So you'll have interesting ways to diversify your portfolio this way. Let's give it a try. So let's say I want to look at equity. So now I have 180 ETF. Maybe I would like to have a little bit more criteria. So here you have different ways. So let's see. Canadian dividend income. That could be another interesting filter. So now we're down to 21 ETF, sorry. So you can have like each of them. So the first one, XDV, which is a popular one, Canadian I dividend covered call for BMO, ZWC. So those are probably like common names that you've heard a lot of times. You have the market cap, which is interesting, but you can also have the fund information. So you have now the closing price and the management fees. So obviously, when you look at ETF, you want to pay as little as possible, and you can also compare them with performances. So now you have the year-to-date return and the 3 months return and 1 month return. So it gives you a good idea. If you click on it, you'll get more information about the ETF, and if you really click on it, you'll have the full page that we saw when you have a quote. Now it's a quote for the ETF, and then you can easily buy or sell the stock whenever you want. Not the stock, but the ETF. Sorry, so used to buy and sell stocks and not too much about ETF. So again, great tool. Find ETF, build your portfolio. You can use the stock filters to the ETF filters to make the right selection for your portfolio. I think it's an easy tool to use. As you can see, once you're interested in one, you click on it and then you get to the quote. You can buy, you can sell. It's pretty much a straightforward process. Moving on to watch list. That could be another interesting feature. As you can see, I don't use it, but you can actually build your watch list. I actually do that at DSR. So let's say I do dividend stocks. Now I do have my list of dividend. Obviously I have none here. So let's add National Bank. So not finding National Bank. So you can see that maybe that's something that will make you tick a little bit. So if you put the name, you're gonna find it, and now you have the stock in your list. So if you want to add Royal Bank, he's going to find it again, so I can have it now, and then I have like the price, the volume, the range, and quick buy and sell button. So if you want to use just your watch list for market, like when it drops or something, then you can pull out your watch list and look at what is interesting right now to buy. Moving on to the other one, Trading Central, which is all the information that you can have for a specific company. So let's look at Visa that I've looked at not too long ago. So now you're going into technical insight. You have like more information about that. You will have the value analyzer, strategy builder, future ideas. So that could be interesting. You can go in features ideas, and now you can look at what you really want to trade. So if you're not too sure and if you just want to wander around, this is the kind of feature that could be used. Honestly, I don't use that either, because now you're getting into the world that you're going to create more noise than anything. But sometimes if you don't know where to start, that could be interesting, but don't play too much with those kind of features. I think they're nice to have, but unless you're very specific about your strategy, I think you're going to waste more time than anything else on those. One place where you can find ideas that I find that it is a little bit more straightforward and easy to use is the strategy builder. When you go here, you can explore them by teams or do preset screens. But let's say you're keep talking with your friends about what's happening with 5G. If you click here, you're going to find companies that actually has 5G exposure. So right now we have 15 matches. You can see most of them are tech stocks. You have TELUS as well, but it will give you an idea of companies that could benefit from the 5G technology. You can filter by other teams. So let's say, oh, I want to get protected from COVID-19. Which kind of company is actually building vaccine or stuff like that. So you see Moderna, we see Eli Lilly, Pfizer, Abbott Laboratories for the tests. So you have good ideas. So it really goes with the theme of the day. Then again, if you keep chasing the flavor of the day, you may end up into bad territories. You may end up way on the left field compared to your investing strategy. So keep that in mind. Now, if you are a little bit more, how could I say that, sophisticated, you can go here in the market and use option plays. Option plays is a tool that will help you buy options, obviously. So it's quite easy to understand, quite easy to use. You can look at various options. You can search right here as well. That is not that complicated. So let's pull out TELUS, for example. So we got TELUS on both markets, obviously. So we're going to select Canadian market. And then you can say, oh, okay, so I'm bullish or I'm bearish. So they're already giving you options to trade. So let's say I'm bullish. So now I'm looking at specific options contract that I could buy. I can have like the profit and the option play score. So they're telling me, oh, maybe I should go with this one or that one. So this is something that you can play a lot with, depending on if you're like very sophisticated, very experienced, or if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, honestly, you should not trade options. That would be my best bet. But at least you can have like a good support here to make sure that you understand what you're doing when you do that. Another feature that I like, if you want to write covered calls, for example, you can go on the income side, and then they're going to tell you if you should buy or sell those options, if you write those options. So if you're selling a call right now, like a covered call, it will tell you it's going to generate like $27, and it will produce, if you do that like every single month, it would produce an analyzed rate of return of like 392. Obviously it's not 392 upfront, it's just like $27 on that trade. And then you have a 72% chance of expiring that is worth less. So basically 72% that you're going to get the premium, you're going to keep your shares at the end of the term, and you're just going to move on and write another covered call for the following month. So now, last but not the least, if you're interested in fixed income, you also can search here. So you can put the amount to be invested. You can select a product. So you can go with treasury bills, coupons, provision. So let's look at municipal bonds, for example, with a maturity year of 5 years, and I'm really willing to invest $50,000. Let's search what we have here. So unfortunately, we don't have much good yield. So you have the annual yield, the semi-annual, so not too much, but at least you have like the those options. You can just buy them, add them to your portfolio. Again, very easy to trade, very easy to find. You're not gonna find like hidden yields there. We're talking about like 5 years at like 1.6 for the municipality of Autre. I'm not too sure where it is. So those are like small village, I guess, not like small cities in Quebec, but it gives you an idea of like what is being traded on the market right now. Now the followings option here are like pretty standard for all kind of brokerage. So you can see your current order if you have put orders, you can see your transaction history, or looking at interest or dividend income, looking at current transfer, market events, or if you look at your registered account for your contribution and so on. I'm not gonna go there because it's just going to display personal information. You get the idea. It's pretty straightforward. Pretty much the same thing here with documents. So you have your portfolio statement, trade confirmation, the tax slip, the fund facts, all the information and communication. So basically, this is all the place where you get the boring documents. Then again, they're easy to get. And one place that could be of interest of you is the research. So I'd say, besides the feel that you have when you trade on the platform, one thing that it's very interesting for me is the research. So whenever you get access to various research resources, you can get more information in a rapid manner. So this is one thing that I love the most. I've discussed already like publication. They are coming from National Bank Financials and Morningstars. This is what we have. So you have the latest publication. You can look at ETF. You can look at stocks. You can have like companies and ETF that are being reviewed. One other thing that you can go is the company coverage. So now you can see if you have like Morningstars and National Bank ratings, you can filter this way instead of like just going into a specific ticker. You can search by industry, and it will ease up your ways. Again, I'm not a big fan of looking of trading based on analyst analyst price target or Morningstar's rating, but it could help like finalize your research at the end. You may want to look at what they think about it, but when you, as you can see, Morningstars look at Apple and they put a 2 stars out of 5. I would buy Apple today at any time. I mean, obviously not buy or sell recommendation here, but personally I've bought Apple a few times in my life and I never regretted it. It is an amazing business. Morningstar says right now it's not the right time. I say in 10 years from now you're gonna regret if you don't have Apple, but that's just me and that's just Morningstar. We'll see in 10 years who's right and who's wrong, right? And then if you want to go a bit more macro, you can have like economic news and sectors report, which could be interesting. It will give you some interesting insight on specific sectors, especially if you're, let's say, you're wondering what's happening with the utilities recently. Well, then you have a report from Morningstar telling you what's happening with utilities, why renewable energy is going down, for example. You'll be able to get more information about that. And then if you want to buy or sell, it's quite easy. You click there all the time. You will select your account. You're going to find the ETF or the stock that you want. You want to look at the quantity, price type, and then you're going to submit. Pretty straightforward, not that complicated. You don't have to be worried about the ease of use. Maybe a final point about customer service. I rarely call customer service. Actually, I didn't call them that much. I used to call them for an Orbit Gambit strategy to transfer US dollars into Canadian or Canadian to US dollars. But now they just told me, you know what, you cannot do it on the platform, but you can send us a message just using this small icon right here. So you type the message, you say, I want to transfer this much units to this account, and they do it usually within 24 hours. They say up to 3 business days. My experience has been if I put something today, it will be done for tomorrow, that's for sure. So that's good enough for me, especially for an Orbit Gambit. I don't necessarily need the cash right away, so I don't need immediate assistance. Besides that, you know, if you call, obviously customer service, you may have to wait like 30 minutes, 40 minutes online. That happens from time to time. But then again, it's been a while since I've called. I called a few times last year, and during the pandemic, it was just disgusting, but the waiting time everywhere was not that great. So then again, if you have any question about National Bank brokerage account, just go below. Let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Tell me again, what is your favorite brokerage account? What you like so much about it? Some features, some research report. Maybe like tools, like technical analysis or options that you can use from your brokerage services. Let's build this kind of like interesting community here where we can share this kind of information. Give me a thumbs up, follow the channel, and until next video, stay invested.